If its citizens can walk around freely and say whatever, if its citizens can wake up in the morning and not have to worry about bombs coming in on their heads, I would say this is the greatest country on earth, the most protected country on this planet, 100%.
Did you see my hand on my pistol while he was challenging me?
I did not.
Any country you want.
Any country in the world.
I would like to explore more to really conclude my answer because I don't really know yet. I haven't been to a lot of different areas, so I would like to leave that as a standstill. So currently I would say yes, but I'd like to visit more areas. Yeah. So yeah.
The USA, like, we have the opportunity to bring people together, and I don't know if it's going forward or going backward, but that's not mine to say. But I hope it stays the most diverse country because that's my favorite part about the U.S.
I'll say who the greatest country is.
Who's that?
I will say China.
I mean, the natural beauty in itself. This place hasn't been run over as much as the rest of the world. So we still have wide swaths of land where you can still get disappeared into and actually withdraw from society. That's not common. I guess you could probably do that in the steppes of Asia, you know, Siberia places, but not to have this nice climate we got here.
Siberia, good luck.
In Europe, there's nowhere to go at all. These people are all packed on top of each other. I mean, it's, you know, it's funny how they think they're so great. Oh yeah, Denmark's the greatest country because of blah, blah, blah.
Denmark, land of the real, land of the free. Hell yeah, I'd do it immediately.
So like, you have violent crime too. You got all the bad shit that we got.
Hey, how's it going, YouTube? This is Aaron again with American Interviews. We are out here today at the Arcata Plaza. It is Pastels on the plaza and also a farmer's market. Today, we're out here to ask the question, is America the greatest country on earth? We're going to find out.
Hello, what's up, bro?
How's it going?
You need me.
I need you.
Talk to this guy.
Do you want to do an interview?
I can open up science, like, whatever you want. Ask me whatever you want in the world. Like, I'm like the blue brain giant. Yeah.
Oh, what we can do is quick one. How's it going?
This one guy just tried to kiss me.
I think it was like a kiss.
Probably.
Oh, okay. Okay. That, yeah. You tried to kiss her without her consent?
No, I said, do you want to kiss?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, that's. I mean,
hi guys in Humboldt County. Hi, man.
Acceptable for asking.
Okay, what? I slapped an ass too.
You slapped her ass?
No. Yeah, I did. I slapped her ass.
Okay. That guy was hammered. Interesting.
That's the problem.
Yeah, yep, I agree.
That guy needs to be in jail.
Yes. Yeah, now he's just dumping beer out all over the...
He's become offended. That guy is part of the...
He definitely...
4% of the population that commits 90% of the crime.
Yep.
Right now. Like right now. This was 1890. I could... Right now.
Challenge to a duel.
Well, he challenged me.
Yeah, well, he did. Yeah, I did. I did see it.
Did you see my hand on my pistol while he was challenging me?
I did not. We're going to end up revisiting this guy's interview. Is America the greatest country on earth?
I'm indifferent. I think there's different ways of answering that. As a person who lives in America and has only lived in America, I would say yes. But I would like to explore more to really conclude my answer because I don't really know yet. I haven't been to a lot of different areas, so I would like to leave that as a standstill. So currently I would say yes, but I'd like to visit more areas.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for talking to me.
Thanks so much, sir.
Sorry about
What's your
the
YouTube, man?
interruption.
I wanna see
It's
that.
called American Interviews. You want a sticker?
Oh, I love that. American interviews, yeah. There you go. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Have an amazing day. Thanks so much.
Yeah, you too, man.
I don't agree.
There's nothing to agree or you
Disagree
can.
with.
Yeah. Or just it's just asking if you think it is why or why not. So there's no like opinion stated there. I didn't state my. That's not my opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just a question.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't like being on camera.
That's all right.
My opinion is no.
That's all right.
It is not the greatest.
Well, a follow-up I would have to that, if you don't think it's the greatest country, if you could have a one-way ticket to any country and citizenship upon arrival, would you take it?
Any country you want.
Any country in the world.
Upheave just tomorrow.
Yeah, but you would have to trade your citizenship with
Oh.
whoever's...
Yeah.
You would do it?
Uh-huh.
Which country would you choose?
There's a couple. Canada, Switzerland, Japan. I would go to Ireland for sure. There's a lot of places. There's small ones I don't know all the names of.
I feel like just like a job, there's shit everywhere.
Right.
But at a certain point.
All right, so today we're asking the question, is America the greatest country on earth? Why or why not?
No. Why? I believe because we have too much freedom, and too much freedom can cause a lot of problems, and it creates diversity. The word, because I mean, that's what we're known for. The past years since we've been building this country, people have expressed that like, oh, we're the American dream. Come here, make money, do whatever you want to, live like it's almost like a corporate lifestyle, and it promotes a lot of materialism, and it also it creates this competition within people here, and that's why we have a big gap between the higher class, middle class, and like just poor people.
Right.
But there really isn't. There's a big gap. There's not even middle class anymore. You either got it or you don't, and I feel like it just can't be you can't call a country that separates its people with money and doesn't create a fair lifestyle the greatest country on the planet.
Okay. Two things off the top of what you said. You said there's too many freedoms, which creates diversity. Do you think freedoms and diversity are bad inherently, or is there certain freedoms that you would get rid of to make it more equal amongst classes? Is that's kind of what I was gathering from what you were saying. So
I think what I mean by freedoms is like freedom of speech, freedom to be who you are. Those are great things. Like people can do whatever they want. We can do whatever we want. We can dress. We can identify as anything. That's a good thing to have. But there's other freedoms that can be damaging towards our neighbors, and like we could say freedom of speech, but it's really not freedom of speech. It's freedom of hate, is what really I'm trying to express. Like some people wake up and they use that freedom to exploit other people's lives, and they're using politics to do so. And that's another thing. It's like because you see who we have in office, and our president does represent our country. And if we have a president who, which I'm not against, I don't pick sides. I don't believe anyone's perfect. But if a president wakes up and says, I want to get rid of people who are illegal, and do it in a way that is very much not good, and it hurts people. And then you have civilians and people who pick that side of politics, they're gonna wake up that morning and they're gonna treat their neighbor who could be illegal a certain way, all because the person they follow said it. And
Do you think that has to do with our freedoms? I'm just trying to draw the connection here between our freedoms and then how, I guess it's how people choose to act, but stripping freedoms from people who don't act that way, I mean, that's like the bad apple sours the whole batch, you know what I mean? I don't think stripping people's freedoms who follow the law or don't have hate in their heart, that's like 95% of society. I think that 5% just gets amplified because that's what sells. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do you think it'd be fair to strip away freedoms from 95% of people just because there's, 5% of people that are acting out in hate?
And honestly, that's where we're headed. And like, it's to a point where it's almost like dictatorship. We like freedom of speech can't even. It used to be a time where we could hop on Twitter and say anything about our president, say anything about anyone. But now it's like we're living in a time where we can't.
Well, we still can. I mean, if we were in the UK, you can get arrested for saying things on Facebook. That's pretty crazy if you ask me. But you could say virtually anything on Facebook here. If they don't like it, they'll just take it down or it'll get reported. You're not going to go to jail for it. You might go to Facebook jail. They might block you for 30 days, but you're not going to go to actual jail for something you said.
I can say, like, as of lately, there are laws that's changing that right now in this country, as far as like speaking against, what I know, like the biggest topic now, Israel. There's laws that are changing that if you speak out against Israel,
that's pretty crazy too. You should be able to speak out against anyone.
Exactly.
You could speak out against the American government and burn the flag. They're not going to arrest you. But as soon as you speak out against Israel, there's some sort of weird consequences. That's kind of weird.
Exactly. And I feel like that's just one of them. I feel like if we start speaking out more so against like the alligator, was it the alligator pits and like ICE? I feel like they're going to try to, get that as well. Speak out against them. Anything that our government is doing that our president is comfortable doing, we can't speak out against. They're trying to make it that way.
Do you think that this is kind of like a tit for tat escalation from both sides? Like there was the censorship wars happening when Donald Trump became president. The left was just trying to censor everyone. And now it seems like the tables have turned and now the right is the people trying to censor people, like with the Jimmy Kimmel thing and all these others. It's all pretty silly if you ask me, but I feel like it's just escalating back and forth. The rubber band effect, we can't find the pendulum to steady in the middle. It's just going to keep going back and forth and gaining momentum.
Yeah, and the thing about politics is like, even within a party, we have to really realize that those people don't get along either. Like the Republicans, when Trump came back in office, his own party didn't like him. They don't like him now. And like it shows that there's animosity and there's already diversity within the White House. Especially when it's obviously that was there when we brought in another man who's not even from this country and allowed him to have a say-so in our White House. That just shows everything, like where we're at within this country. And it's not even about us anymore.
Who specifically are you referencing right there? Just so the audience knows.
Oh, Elon.
Okay.
Like nothing against him. It's just like, he's not from here. Why is he, it goes against our security. It goes against national security. I know he's a smart man and he could bring to the table, but he could really exploit a lot of things within our government to other countries. He could be a spy and we're allowing him to be in the White House like that. And a lot of people, a lot of old timers who have been in the White House for a long time, who has had the say so within the chair, they were against that, as they should. And Trump, he's not for what Trump is doing. Our government is everywhere, and there is no connection. No one is on the same page as how we used to.
Yeah.
We're just not.
Yeah, it's hard for us to meet in the middle. There's no compromise anymore. There's no it's all just kind of towing the party line, and the party line happens to be the most extreme voices because they're the loudest, right? And that's what it seems like on social media too. 95% of people don't think the way that I was saying 5% of the people do, but those people are the loudest. So that's what gets amplified the most, and that's what gets clicks. Yeah. So that's how people think it's, 50% of people think like this and 50% of people think like this. It's really actually probably only like 2.5% of people think like this, right, and 2.5% of people think like this, and everyone else is kind of right with each other in the middle. That's my thinking anyway.
And as people, especially Americans, we're waking up to, and we're noticing that growing up, like Obama was in office when I was in kindergarten, right? And the country was very much picking a side, very much. You're the left or you're right. And it's been that way for the past like years, 10, 15 years. And this time today, that's changing. Because people are seeing that it's not about left or right anymore, especially if you got a man who only got in office because he promoted himself to be for everyone, which I don't pick a side. Trump, when Trump came in office, his first terms, he did a lot of good things, but he also he had his eyes on a different prize. And it's costing us now because he's selling us out to a foreign adversary, or like an illegal, we're being sold out. And it's crazy how a president who, when he did come in office, whether people like it or not, did do good things. He was making connections with other countries who other U.S. presidents would never do, even step foot across the border. But all for what? If we're supporting people who go against everything that we've worked for. You know what I mean? Like, who really don't care about us as citizens. They don't care about children. They only care about money. And as a man who is a businessman, who maybe he does have a good heart, but he's still a businessman, he had his eyes on the prize, on the money, and saving himself. And they got dirt on him. And because of that, we have to pay for that, us as Americans.
So
our president doesn't have say-so in this country anymore.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He's getting of age. They did it to our last president. Even if they do have a certain opinion, even if they want to go against something, they can't, because they either have blackmail on them or they got their fingers up their butt.
Yeah.
Our we're sold out.
And that's on both sides too. There's dirt, I think, on both sides of the political spectrum. Through and if we want to talk specifically through the Epstein thing, I think that's bad on both sides. But anyway, back to the original prompt. Do you think, after this conversation, do you think America is the greatest country on earth? It could be the greatest of bad things. Doesn't mean it's good.
The greatest country on earth. A country, if its citizens can walk around freely and say whatever, if its citizens can wake up in the morning and not have to worry about bombs coming in on their heads, I would say this is the greatest country on earth, the most protected country on this planet, 100%.
All right. So today we're out here asking the question, is America the greatest country on earth?
So for me, I'll say this. I think America has a lot of freedoms that other countries do not have, that I've been blessed to be able to be here. I was born in the South, and I have a GED, and I've never made a lot of money, and I've been able to travel all around the country for a small amount of money. And that for me is all I needed to be like, yeah, I love this country, whether or not it's good or bad. I know all humans are evil in their own way, so when they have power. So I think it's a complicated question, but at the end of the day, I'm blessed to be here, and I feel like my people, I grew up with everywhere, all had pretty much equal opportunities as far as employment and stuff like that. We got Job Corps, we got all sorts of employment offices everywhere. And I grew up in the South, so there's a lot, I guess people would think less opportunities, but there was still plenty of resources for me to be able to work away. I was able to travel all around the country with a really small amount of money and meet all sorts of cool people. So I have kind of an alternative perspective on it, because I've been able to do certain things that allowed me to see more of the country. So I think that what's amazing about the U.S. is how diverse it is. I grew up in a city, Nashville, where, is very diverse. And that changes a lot of people's perspective. And a lot of countries don't grow up with other races, and we grew up with every race you can imagine. And that gave us an amazing perspective on life.
Yeah.
And also is building up humanity in so many ways, past our ancestors, like how they viewed other people. Like we're growing, and the South has grown a lot compared to what it was. Like a lot of people in the South used to be pretty racist, and I think nowadays it's changing a lot because they're realizing that we're all together. And that to me is beautiful. And yeah, obviously things are always going on in the world that are tragic and we can't control, but I would say that yes, I feel very blessed to live here. And I feel like, I just got to California a year ago, but I love it. And I think that people here are extremely open-minded, which has been amazing to me. And I've stayed here because of that. Yeah. So I would say that, yes, this is an amazing country. And it also depends on where you live and who you're surrounded by, because it's hard to get a perspective unless you see other people, talk to other people. And a lot of people struggle with like trying to go to other communities. They're scared, or they feel like the other communities naturally, our brain says that other community is going to be different than us. We're scared. But when you go to the other community, you realize that everybody is the same. We all are the same. And, I think America, North America, the USA, like we have the opportunity to bring people together, and I don't know if it's going forward or going backward, but that's not mine to say. But I hope it stays the most diverse country, because that's my favorite part about the U.S.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your opinion.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks for stopping and talking to me, man. Yeah.
Great one, dude.
All right, so today we're asking the question, is America the greatest country on earth?
Sorta. Yes.
Dive into that for me.
Well,
Why just sort of?
it's pretty good. It's a good country. I consider all of America, North and South, America, though. It's more than one country. Each state was originally a state. A state is a nation, and within those states, there's often smaller countries, the little native sovereign lands that are there, I mean, we took them, but, we give them back, we share. We're becoming new people. It's different than it was. It started out with pain, like all countries do. There's always some sort of, terrible thing going on where greed gets us some stuff. But taking what we, how we think afterwards to try to get along, stop the terrible things we're doing. And we stop the terrible things. We are a wonderful country because our people see when they're doing something wrong and quit. And a lot of them have been doing so. And even the president, he does a good job. Any president does. The job of the president's to take that jar of promises, hold it up for the public to see, say, still empty. It's going to be filled by future generations with currents of broken dreams. And that's what he's been doing. But our dreams aren't quite so broken. We makes our dreams reality, and the efficiency of the American people isn't understood. Like closing the border's not going to stop Fetty from being here. We're Americans. We'll make our own Fetty. But by then we'll have good Fetty, and we'll be dying twice as much because we make our own stuff. We don't sit there and go, oh, we need this import. We are desperately needing of that. We make our own stuff. We make our own jobs. We make our own businesses and make our own policies. And it doesn't, we have skills, We're good at talking to us. We're good at our, empathy, sympathy and everything. We feel for the other countries a lot of the times. And we get lost in our own, TV moments and think that someone's doing a bad job because they hate us. They're just doing a bad job because they suck. They're trying their best. But, blaming them as though they failed on purpose, that's just cruel. And a lot of us, like the National Guard's quitting on the whole, invading our own people thing. That's that's inspiring, and the ICE members are quitting. They got their taste of fascism, and I'm pretty sure it left a bad taste in their mouth. And all it took was time for them to do what they did and quit by the thousands, and which I imagine many more are going to do, and that's inspiring.
So, in conclusion, do you think America is the greatest country on earth?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't want Denmark hearing me say that, but yeah, it's up there.
If you had the chance to trade your citizenship for a one-way ticket to any country on earth and immediate citizenship to that country, would you do it?
Denmark, land of the real, land of the free. Hell yeah. I'd do it immediately. They don't try to kill me there. They don't assume I'm, anti-religious and try to take the one thing that gets me through every day away just because of my, sexuality. They don't beat me up for being gay on the way to my visit my girlfriends. The assumptions. Denmark's a little smarter.
Don't know that.
Yes, I do.
Right. Well, I appreciate your opinion. You have a good rest of your day.
Thank
you so much. Is America the greatest country on earth? Why or why not?
The earth has to be a collective whole at this point. The earth is shattering. All countries are going to be the greatest countries on earth, working together, in my opinion.
How do we get other countries to work towards that goal? Because I know that there are definitely some countries that do not give any cares about their own people. Example, North Korea. How do you get evil dictators to work with you?
Well, I don't think NATO's going to do it. I don't think Martha Stewart's going to do it. I really don't think Trump is going to do it. How I feel about it is we must eradicate all nuclear armament. And
that's a tough one, though, because nuclear power is almost the most efficient power source. Yes. So how do we get rid of the arms and keep the power?
Well, perhaps is America, France, Germany, Sweden, Denmark, England, America. If we don't work together, we're going to be in really big trouble. And with $371 billion cut from HUD for housing across the country, and EBTs, so working families are not able to eat. What we're seeing is Trump Marie Antoinette saying, "Let them eat cake."
Okay, let them eat cake.
There's going to be a revolution, in my opinion. So no, I do not believe that American people are. Our government is the problem. And how do we dismantle that when we have a constitution? Well, amendments. I'd like to believe we have to distribute the wealth. And
distribute or redistribute?
Redistribute.
How would we do that?
Possibly getting rid of Wall Street? I don't know. I mean,
yeah, there's no clear answer, is there?
No clear answer. But do you think that other people that are working and suffering and things happen all over the world, they're all real similar. There's something I'll stick. Why and why not? We the people, for the people of the United States of America, for justice and liberty for all. That really doesn't really seem to be happening, and I don't know if it's propaganda. I feel, with that person, part of Trump's, the one that got assassinated.
Charlie Kirk?
Yeah, I feel that was a sacrificial victim of fear-mongering. We have to get rid of fascism.
Can you define fascism?
Well, to me, fascism is an absolute control, reduction of a minority, an unwanted part of our population, an unwanted group of individuals. How I would describe it is, and I'm Bavarian Jew, how I would describe it is knock, knock, knock at the door. It's a fascist, I don't want to say the word Nazi, but yes, didn't we give you a bar of soap last week? There's going to be a rendering of not just this country. There already is. So is America going to really repeat the fascist regime on American individuals? There's going to be a storming of the Bastille, so to speak. French Revolution didn't put up with it. Argentina didn't put up with it. Guatemala didn't put up with it. Gaza's not going to put up with it. And European countries are not going to put up with it, which is going to tax us all in a way, so not in terms of money, in a way that is going to really shock people, I believe. And I'll be 58. I've lived here my whole life. The drug thing needs to stop. We know this. Well, so is America? No, I won't say that America is the greatest country. I'll say who the greatest country is.
Who's that?
I will say China. With 8,000 years of history and 4 time zones, I would say what we should.
They still have slavery.
Yes, and so do we.
I mean,
so do we.
We don't round up people in our country and force them into labor camps.
Not yet. FEMA camps. People that are losing their Medi-Cal partnership, their EBT, their Medicare A and B, the overloading of all of our hospitals, our breakdown of our mental health system, our healthcare system. Yes, I would say not yet, but it's already happening. People are living on the streets with nothing, and there eventually will be nothing. And what we're seeing here, in my opinion, this is a small fishbowl. We don't have execution, but we still have, in America, we still have, the death penalty. So we might be following in the steps of. Did you hear? I heard a rumor that Putin at the summit in Alaska said to Trump, "We don't care. Don't tell us what to do." We have 4 wars going on right now, and another one cooking up. He said, "We'll blast the whole West Coast off." There are nuclear subs right there on our coast. I was in the Navy. I know what I'm talking about. My brother is retired from the Coast Guard. So to protect California, maybe it's all going to get wiped out, and then it'll just start again. Life will go on. Life's going to go on. Because overpopulation is a big problem. Too many people having babies. Everybody wants to live in California, I guess. My people exited and got jobs in Idaho to get off the coast. And so until our economy, until there are jobs available and we're not outsourcing them to make people rich that are rich, 5% that control 95% of the world's money, America's money, those people know damn well that they're going to have to eventually croak because everybody dies. You know, when you get old, you're not going to be able to live forever. But is America? No, because I think it's a done deal. I think it's a done deal. I feel it makes me sad. It does. I have nephews and nieces. My mother passed on May 29th. You know, she's not. But may we live in interesting times. But history repeats itself. This is no. Rome wasn't built in a day, and Rome burnt in one day, and so did others. The Persian Empire. So you know, if this is an empirical situation, it's not gonna work because the people are gonna rise up. People know how to take care of themselves, and number one, they'll take care of their families. Right. They'll take care of their families. They'll take care of their food source, their water source, and that's becoming more difficult for others, for people. And so,
let me ask you the follow-up.
Yeah.
Of since you don't think that America is the greatest country on earth, would you trade your citizenship for a one-way ticket and citizenship to another country?
Yes, I would, and it would probably be. It'd probably be Belize.
Belize?
Yeah, Central America. Yeah. I have friends all over the world. No, I have to correct that.
Go ahead.
Germany.
Germany?
Yep. I have relatives in Germany, in Munich, and or somewhere in the south of France. So it would be Germany. I would feel like I would be able to get a job at my age, have some health care that's going to extend, reinvent my life at my age, and feel and have some respect for myself and for extended family or coworkers and people that I know. I mean, there's no industry here in Humboldt. And so this question kind of applies to, but we're looking at the big picture. Can't take everybody with you. And so that's interesting. Yeah, I would say Germany.
Cool. Well, I appreciate your opinion. Thanks for stopping to talk to me.
I hope that was a good one.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay, great.
All right. Appreciate it. So today we're out here at Pastels on the Plaza, and we're asking the question, is America the greatest country on earth? Why or why not? Oh, yeah. There you go. Show them the sign. Is it the greatest country? Why or why not?
There's no greatest country.
What makes you say that there's no greatest country?
Because, all peoples, which is what a country is,
right,
have different strengths and weaknesses as a group, and I think America is the strongest country militarily for now. Is that great? I mean, in a sense, I don't know what you mean by the word great. It's like, what was it Yoda said, there's no great warriors. War does not make someone great. But in the sense that it's a powerful country, and the greatest, there's that. And it's an economic powerhouse and all these things. So that's something. This is one of the freer countries on earth, relatively.
Right.
But again, freedom exists on a spectrum. And I mean, how free is a country where you're forced to give over more than half of your fruits of your labor to the government for them to decide how they're going to spend it, And it's not, a lot of people go, I only pay 10%. I don't even pay income taxes. I don't make that much, and blah, blah, blah. When we're talking about the marginal tax rate, you think, is that the right term? The actual tax that people pay, your sales tax, your car registration, all the stuff that we have to do. They actually say that Obamacare is a tax now. That's what the Supreme Court said. So we're paying our actual tax rate is probably 60 to 70% for people like you and me. That's reality. Is that freedom? I mean, we talk about basic human rights. What's a human right? Is healthcare a human right? Some people say healthcare is a human right. Okay. Why? Do I have the right to do a bunch of heroin and then make you pay for my recovery? Is that a right?
I would say probably not.
It's not. So, when we talk about human rights, to me, there's three human rights. You have the right, And it's right there in the Constitution. It's not given by the government. These are our natural-born rights or your God-given rights, depending on whatever your belief is. Maybe God gave them to you. And these are the life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. And it's the pursuit of happiness. It's not happiness. You're not guaranteed. You don't have any right to happiness. And then all of our legal rights come from that. I mean, we talk about the First Amendment. That's the right to liberty, right? Because I can say what I want. But that doesn't mean that people got to listen. Right. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel is on the TV saying, this is the greatest country in the world, and I have to have my right to be on TV. You don't have a right to be on TV. You got canceled because you're a jackass and you say stupid shit, and people don't really care too much about it. Right. Nobody muzzled him. There was no free speech things here. He was running his mouth the whole week. He was off for a week. And he was running his mouth. He goes on these other shows. I didn't watch any of the shows. I never watched the guy in the first place. I mean, the Man Show was good because of Adam Carolla. Adam, you rock. I mean, Jimmy was never funny in the first place. He doesn't even try at humor. And so he's sitting here complaining about free speech. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Like people like that. Does he have the right to earn $15 million, losing millions of dollars for these people? I mean, the guy's an idiot. So I guess for him it's pretty great. And then we got to pay advertisers for products so that he can have his salary. And it's the same thing with all these other bums. It's like LeBron James and all these jackasses making all this money. She used to watch sports, and I was really into it. But now they're a bunch of insufferable divas getting overpaid and whining about everything. It's like, I remember when they first said shut up and dribble, like 20 years ago. And I was like, oh, come on, they can say what they want, which they can. But again, I don't have to listen. And it's definitely got to the point where I'm like, shut up and dribble. It's like, it's like you're not smart. You're just not intelligent, And
it becomes expected of these people to use their platforms for good. That I think that their fans push them into these situations where they feel like they're called to speak out against certain injustices.
And what's good, though? I mean, who gets to decide what's good? Right. Good and evil, there's a moral judgment. It's like...
Well, do you believe that there's an objective good and an objective evil?
Yes. And I think we're in a time of objective evil, obviously. I mean, you take it to its logical conclusion. You go to the extreme. And if you go to the extreme and do this all the time, and then the outcome is catastrophe, that's bad. But if you take this extreme and you go all the time, and, there's prosperity, then that's good. I mean, is that objective good and bad? So what does that even mean? I mean, you got all these things. I mean, I think I have a libertarian bent. I like to think that. I like to think of personal liberty. And as such, that means I think people should get to do what they want with their bodies. But that's not reality. Yeah. It's like this my body, my choice thing. It's like my body, my choice is good when we're talking about abortion, right? But my body, my choice is not so good when we're talking about a COVID vaccine. Okay? So what's that? And of course, and then you'll see people say, oh, yeah, they're legislating women's bodies. They don't legislate our bodies, you and me? I mean, does anybody know about the Selective Service? Yeah. Hey, go stand in front of that machine gun. Shut the fuck up. I don't care what you think. Get in front of that machine gun. Well, I don't want to stand in a machine gun. Too bad. So don't tell me my body, my choice. It's like, I mean, I'm definitely anti-abortion, but that's not the same as pro-life crowd. Right. So, and is an abortion good or evil? I mean, taken to its, again, if you take that to its, what if we aborted all the babies? That's bad. Yeah. And you look what's happening in the world now. We're having problems that way. I mean, Korea's collapsing, Japan's collapsing, and so what? Then you have immigration. So look at women are apparently down to 1.6 live births per woman in America now. That's a dying nation. Because the nation is the people. So now we're bringing in all these immigrants, and all right.
Look at what's happening in the UK because of that.
And that's starting to happen here, too. I mean, here we are. Now we have unfettered mass immigration. So now we have, and if you listen, there's been 11 million illegal immigrants in this country since as long as I can remember. Yeah. Right? There's a lot more than that now. What's the real number? We don't know. Why don't we know? Because we were just like, come on over. Come on in.
How could we know?
Yeah, it's literally impossible. So, and now you have, I think part of the problem is it's not a great country because we're too compassionate. Now, people say, that sounds evil if I say we're too compassionate.
My follow-up to it's not a great country would be if you could have a one-way ticket and citizenship to any other country in the world, would you take it?
Well, this is the crappiest country in the world except for all the rest. So no, of course I wouldn't. I'm not here to say screw America, I'm not love it or leave it or all that crap. I love this country. Why? Well, there's the natural beauty. That's part of the reason why I'm still here in California, despite, these heavy infringements on all my rights. It's like they definitely want to take guns away from me, and they also want to allow people to stab girls in the subway in the neck and then walk away and say, I got that white girl. And oh, he's misunderstood. Oh, what are we going to do? We have to make sure he has the resources. How many times does that have to happen before we give up on that person? Oh, we're going to give up on him. Yeah, he stabbed a girl in the freaking throat after being arrested 29 times. I mean, 80% of the violent crime in this country are committed by people with 3 or more convictions. If we wanted to stop 80% of crime, it wouldn't be that hard. Now, of course, the problem with that is that you got a government that is tyrannical and abusive of their power. So can we trust 3 strikes? Well, we saw what happened with 3 strikes in California up until pretty recently. It was a disaster.
Yeah.
Can we trust them with the death penalty? Are they going to shoot people that are the wrong? Or no, we can't. This state is a problem. Yeah. So when we say is this the greatest country, these are the greatest people. But this country, the government is the problem.
Right.
I mean, it's hard. I get emotional. I think about this girl, and then and I think about this idea. Like, I just saw this one. Somebody did this YouTube or whatever. I don't know what it was. It's talking about these 6. He pulls out this folder. Whomp! It's like fucking phone book, Although a lot of people don't even know what a phone book is anymore. But and he starts talking about these 6 kids. These are all underage people. I don't know what the complexion of their skin was, but they were repeat offenders. And he says they have 174 victims between them in the last 28 months or whatever. 2.5 years. 174 victims, 6 people. That's 29 per. At what point do we start taking concern of the 174? Are we going to give up on them? And some of these people are paralyzed. Some of them are dead. Some of them, have been sexually and physically abused to the point where they're now sterile. They're never going to have children. Paralyzed. Horrible outcomes. The lucky ones just had their car stolen and a gun stuck in their face. All right? So compassion for these people is cruelty for the others. I mean, you think about, I forget her name, it's another one, not the girl that got stabbed in the subway. Although it was ironic. The father's really mad. It's like the state chose to let this other guy out. I forget his name. There's so many, I don't remember all their names. And he goes and kills a girl. The state had a choice to make. We have a choice between 20-time offender who's violent. We have a choice between 14-year-old girl who she just wants to, go to the basketball game and be a cheerleader. The state consistently chooses the criminals. Why is that? There's an agenda. They don't really want peace and prosperity. It's a narco-tyranny. Isn't that, you know what a narco-tyranny is? Obviously, we must.
You know how to pause, right? If you want to learn about what anarcho-tyranny is, you can pause the video and read.
I mean, it's a freaking disaster. I saw the press conference where I forget the girl's name, and I should know it, as passionate as I am about this stuff, but the freaking DA, or the lady, the mayor, I guess, she was all, blah, 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 oh, it's terrible what happened to poor Irina. And the dad's all like, it's not Irina. Irina's the girl in the subway. And that's the most recent one that I now remember. And it was just a couple weeks before that this other girl gets killed in very similar circumstances, which is, there's so many that even these people can't remember. Yeah. They're getting this confused, it's like, and so that's big part of why we're not great. And it's because our leaders are intentionally making it not great. Right. It's like, they keep bombarding us with the original sin bullshit, like, there's so much.
Maybe a little bit of this confusion in the media cycle comes from social media and all of the claims getting just thrown out on Twitter before anything's verified, and then things get washed around. And before, it's like you would only see maybe the San Francisco Chronicle or like the Arcata Eye or whatever newspaper you got to your house. So you weren't seeing all of these stories. So there was less confusion and it was less widespread, I think, because you weren't hearing about so many things. You weren't being bombarded over the head every at 30 seconds you're scrolling, and then there's a new news story that you have to pay attention to and all this stuff, and then there's all this stuff swirling around in your head from social media. Do you think that has something to do with all of the confusion in the media cycle?
Yeah, of course. Social media is this double-edged sword that's been a disaster overall.
Yeah.
I mean, it's horrible. I mean, that is the thing. You can't ever have peace. You never get peace. And these things, of course, were meant to bring us together. We can communicate better, and they've separated us. I mean, we see these things. I remember it was a joke, actually. The joke was, this is going to happen. When these things first came out, of everybody being on the phone, and we made jokes about it. I remember seeing a cartoon where, this was back in 2000 probably. This is a Playboy cartoon, so it's racy. But the two people are, Scott her bent on, and she's texting, OMG, that's fantastic. And he's all like, I did contact you. They're texting each other. They're talking and they're texting each other. So yeah, the social media has been a disaster, and now everybody's got access. But on the other hand, when we talk about the San Francisco Chronicle and this, having them control the narrative is horrible. Right. So we need a social media. I mean, here you are, you're out here on the streets doing these interviews, and now it's going to contribute to it. And it's a lot harder to hide these things. I mean, the story of Arena was the one that didn't get out until it was the social media that put it out. Because, they're like, oh, hey, another white girl got killed by a black guy who's 15 times offended. That doesn't fit our narrative. We're not reporting. Right. And so you're not going to see that in the Chronicle. You're not going to see that in the New York Post. You're going to see that on American Interviews, maybe. Yeah. Because they're intentionally hiding this stuff until they can't. And then they put their little spin on it, and it's just... I love this place, and I don't want to leave. But I'm really... California in particular, I mean, I'm a big 2A guy, as you might not be surprised to find out. It's the most important one next to the first one. Right. The first one can't exist without the second one. Right. And so, you have these people wanting to take my gun. I didn't get arrested 39 times. Exactly. and you're not going to get my guns. It's like you can take the one, maybe you can, I got a permit, so I got this one, maybe you can get it. But, you're going to get the others. I can get one easy. I can print one. You're not going to take our guns. There's more guns than there's people. So the idea of, getting the guns is... So they legislate this shit, and now they tell me I have to be more poorly armed. I can't have more than 10 rounds. Yeah. And then there's people that say, well, if you can't get it done with 10 rounds, maybe you shouldn't have a gun. And it's like, well, you obviously don't understand anything about what could be potential in a firefight. There's all kinds of things. I need to go over all that shit now. But sometimes you just need to run away spraying bullets so the other people don't shoot at you. And you got 10 of them, and you got to cover 100 yards, you got problems. Now you got to do a speed reload on the run. You know what that is?
Yeah,
it's easy. Difficult to do. They make it look easy in the movies, and it's like I am a pretty experienced pistolero, I guess is the right thing. I'm not, and I have run, and even as practicing a fair amount, success rate of getting it done smoothly in a timely manner while people are shooting at you. I mean, I've never had to experience that, and I hope I never do. Right. It's like. Okay. But all that said, I still love living here and wouldn't trade it for any country else. Because
so would you conclude with we can maybe be the greatest of all the bad things? Like it's not necessarily good, but it's still the greatest.
Well, we have the greatest of a lot of good things too. Right. I mean, the natural beauty in itself. This place hasn't been run over as much as the rest of the world. So we still have wide swaths of land where you can still get disappeared into. And actually withdraw from society. That's not common. I guess you could probably do that in the steppes of Asia, Siberia places, but not to have this nice climate we got here.
Siberia, good luck.
And in Europe, there's nowhere to go at all. These people are all packed on top of each other. I mean, it's funny how they think they're so great. Oh yeah, Denmark's the greatest country because of blah blah blah.
Denmark, land of the real, land of the free. Hell yeah, I'd do it immediately.
So like. You have violent crime too. You got all the bad shit that we got, and it's like
they just do it in more creative ways. They splash people with acid and stabbings and.
The monkey attacks.
Yeah, monkey attacks?
Yeah, attack monkeys for real.
Oh, they train monkeys to attack certain.
They don't necessarily. They carry their monkey. It's a little tiny monkey. It's their pet. and they carry the monkey around. This is real. You can look this up. They carry the monkey in their little vest, right? And they walk around and they follow, looking for the tourists, got the money and whatnot, and who aren't paying attention. And this is what they do. They walk up to it and they open their thing and they throw the monkey in your face. And the monkey freaks out. The monkey just freaks out because the monkey, the monkey's chilling. Hey, I got my owner's cool. All of a sudden, it's grabbed, jerked, thrown on someone's face, and the person, what do they do? Ah! And then the monkey grabs on and beats the heck and starts clawing and scratching, and it's like, yes, don't hit me. So while that happens, yes, the rivalry occurs. So, you talk about creative ways. I mean, that, on the one hand, you kind of got to hand it to him. When we get to the gun, ain't going to help me there. Fucking. Yeah, you're gonna shoot yourself? So, but yeah, that's what's happening in Europe. So that sucks.
Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, this is the greatest place for me to live. Even though Gavin Newsom is pulling all the garbage he's pulling. I mean, he's just a disaster.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Well, I appreciate your opinion, sir.